Hello and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Happy to have you with me. And if yesterday was the day of pitching, today is the opposite of that. It was a lot of offense. We will get to it in just a moment. First, let's talk about some news going on. Rangers Southpaw Cody Bradford is going to undergo, or did undergo rather, internal brace surgery. It's not a full Tommy John surgery, but it still is going to require him to miss part of next season as well. The recovery time will be a little bit shorter, but still, it is going to be a significant time missed on the field. The Diamondbacks have signed James McCann. They DFA'd Ramos Garcia, who has been outrighted to AAA. Decision time there. He could choose free agency or he could accept that AAA assignment. That is on him at this point, but he has been DFA'd from the 40 man to make room for James McCann, who was recently signed. Will Brennan heads to the 60-day injury list for the Guardians. They reinstate lefty Eric Sabrowski. Zach Kent has been optioned to AAA. So far, not a whole lot of super fantasy relevant news, but this is what's in the news. Griffin Canning. He was diagnosed with a ruptured Achilles. So he goes to the 60-day IL. Blade Tidwell is expected to take his rotation spot. Tidwell did work in relief in the game yesterday, but long term, he's expected to take that rotation spot. Jared Young was optioned to make room for Mark Vientos. I talked about that yesterday. I speculated maybe Mauricio or Beatty. I was incorrect. It is Jared Young, in fact, who is optioned to make room for Mark Vientos' return. Austin Warren was also optioned to make room for Colin Poche in the bullpen for the Mets. Jose Barrero elected free agency after being DFA'd by the Cardinals, lost a spot to Garrett Hampson, so he'll seek other opportunities potentially overseas, from what I read, if I understand correctly. The Giants have optioned Sean Hageli to make room for Carson Seymour, and Seymour is somebody they got in a trade a couple years ago. He will make his MLB debut when he gets into a game. He has not yet. Seymour's been working as a starter, and I think even if he starts in the bullpen, I think he's kind of insurance if Hayden Birdsong does not turn things around. Birdsong's had a few rough outings in a row, so we'll see what happens with that whole situation. I bet the Giants are not happy that they traded Kyle Harrison at this point, although, another starting option for them in the minors is Carson Wisenhunt, and they're going to Carson Seymour run. Seymour is on the 40-man roster, so that makes sense there. Again, he'll make his MLB debut when he gets into a game. Nothing concrete that he's going to be in the rotation. I'm just speculating that they might be prepping in case they need to make a move within their rotation with Seymour. The Rangers, I don't have a whole lot to say on this one, but the Rangers allegedly made an offer to JD Martinez, so that's kind of interesting. Obviously, he didn't take it or has not taken it yet, or whatever the case is. They're looking to bolster their lineup. Wonder if there's going to be any more interest in JD Martinez moving forward, but certainly something to monitor. I mean, dude can hit. Jordan Lawler for the Diamondbacks is hurt once again. He's going to miss at least a month with a hamstring injury, and he's just had an injury-marred career. He got sparse playing time with the Diamondbacks earlier this year, couldn't quite figure it out, couldn't get on track. They sent him back down, and now he is hurt. The injuries have really derailed what was a promising career. So unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can come back healthy and maybe work towards a spot. We'll just have to see what happens. Austin Hayes was activated by the Reds. Jake Fraley heads to the IL with a shoulder sprain, so they just swapped them IL activation to putting somebody on the IL in his return. Austin Hayes went 1 for 4 with an RBI double and striking out twice. Marcelo Mayer is on the bereavement list, so he'll be inactive for a few days. Nick Sogard is recalled to fill his place on the roster for the Red Sox. Bryce Harper says he's looking at a return during the homestand next week. So good news for the Phillies lineup and Phillies fans. Bryce Harper, again, close to returning, whether that be during the homestand next week. I don't think anything has been formally announced, but Bryce Harper is feeling better and looking to come back. Wyatt Langford has been put on the IL, but they backdated it, so he's only expected to miss about a week on the IL, so shouldn't be out too long, but he is on the IL as of right now. And wrapping up our news segment, Marcus Stroman is expected to start against the A's later today. And that is according to Aaron Boone. So Stroman coming off the IL and I guess rejoining the Yankees rotation. Take a look at some of the hitting highlights. Again, some solid hitting going on in the games yesterday. Tyro Estrada picked up 3 hits and 2 RBIs. All of the hits were singles. He's hitting 228 through 80 at bats with just a single home run. Not too many counting stats for fantasy, but he does have a good average since returning from getting that late start from being on the IL. Jackson Chourio with a 2-hit day for the Brewers, including a 3-run home run. He had 4 RBIs in total on the day. And, it seems like he's picked things up as of late. Maybe that's just me. Shohei Ohtani creeping closer to 30 homers. He has 29 after a 2-hit day that saw him hit a bomb and a triple. Extra base hit machine in that one. For the Astros, Yannier Diaz collects 3 hits, including a home run. The storyline of the game, however, is Cam Smith. If you recall, Cam Smith was like the main part of that trade package where the Astros sent Kyle Tucker to the Cubs, and Cam Smith playing against the Cubs with the Astros went 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. So getting a little revenge on the team that drafted him and ultimately traded him. That's got to be the storyline of that game. Cal Raleigh collected only 1 hit. It was a double. I feel gypped. Should be a home run, right? That's Cal Raleigh. I don't know. Anyway, he hit a double and he walked 3 times. That's the headline there. He did. I guess he's just showing patience now. Or maybe they just don't throw to him anymore. I don't know. I wouldn't. Dude's on a tear. Phillies offense scores 13 runs in total on the strength of 2 Trey Turner home runs, and he included a double in his day as well. Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, and Otto Kemp all hit home runs for the Phillies as well. Otto Kemp actually had his first MLB home run. Alec Burleson continues to be all sorts of impressive for the Cardinals. He's hitting 300 on the year after a 2-hit day that included a home run and a double. Spencer Steer, 3 home runs for the Reds, collected 4 RBIs. He's up to 9 home runs for the season. Brandon Lowe was one of 3 Rays to hit a bomb, and he collected 4 RBIs on the day. Lowe's homered now in back-to-back games. He had one in the game a couple days ago. He had one in the game yesterday. So he is on a bit of a power trip right now. The Orioles offense explodes for 22 runs with Gary Sanchez, Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, and Kobe Mayo homering. Henderson added a triple. Mayo and Sanchez had a double, and Colton Cowser had 3 doubles, and that is just like the tip of the iceberg for extra base hits coming from the O's offense, and that was Kobe Mayo's first home run on the year. Juan Soto hit a home run. He's hitting .409 with 6 home runs and more walks than strikeouts over his last 7 games. He is on an absolute heater right now. I know he's gotten a lot of flack for starting slow, for not living up to the big contract, but I mean, hey, .409, 6 home runs in 7 games. I know it's a small sample size, but that's crazy. And finally, on the hitting side, Nolan Schanuel, he's showing a bit more power this year. He hit his 7th home run of the year. He's on pace to break his mark of 13 home runs from last year. And we know he can hit. We know he's going to provide some average, but if he can get that power up a little bit, he's going to become a pretty solid, fantasy first baseman. I know you look for power more than anything. He doesn't provide it, but if he can hit for average and he can hit you a respectable amount of home runs, that's certainly going to be a guy that you're going to want on your fantasy teams, or at least I would want. But I mention all the time, I don't win a lot, so I don't know. He's hitting more home runs. It's fun to see. Talk about some of the starters from yesterday's games. Noah Cameron has had things fall off since his dazzling start. He allowed 5 runs over 4 innings and 4 strikeouts with 3 walks, and the walks have kind of been what's been creeping up on him more than anything. When he's not walking a lot of guys, he's been striking a lot of guys out, not giving up a lot of runs, but he's had a couple starts in a row where the walks have creeped up, and so have the earned runs. Same thing kind of goes with Cade Horton, who allowed 7 earned runs to the Astros in 4 innings on 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Especially for rookies, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. But they need to keep some stuff in check here. Cade Horton has had some good outings, but when you're walking 4, he's given up runs. It's a correlation. For the Astros on the other side of that start with Cade Horton, Brandon Walter turned in a good performance, bounced back from 7 earned runs against the Angels last time out to throw 6 innings of 1-run ball against the Cubs with 5 strikeouts. Game of the day, I picked Logan Gilbert versus Nathan Eovaldi. Gilbert surrendered 4 runs on 7 strikeouts with through 5 1/3 innings. Eovaldi went 3 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts in his return from the injured list after missing exactly a month. His last start was May 27th. He returned on June 27th. For the Giants, Landon Rupp struck out 4 and gave up only an unearned run across 5 1/3 innings. So a solid outing for him. Again, that Giants rotation, they have some interesting names in there. Rupp is certainly one of them, and he has been performing pretty well. Aaron Savali, perhaps his best start as a White Sox, gave up only a run, walked 4, struck out 4 in 4 innings. Mick Abel was slated to be on the mound for the Phillies. A rain delay caused Tanner Banks to get the start. Banks went 2 shutout innings, which led the Phillies pitching staff to a shutout overall in that game. So again, Abel did not start. Technically, he was registered as the starter. He did not throw an inning. The rain delay kind of caused Tanner Banks to come in and fill that role of the starter. David Festa for the Twins goes 5 2/3 scoreless, surrendering only 2 hits and striking out 6. It's good to see. That brings his season ERA down to 5.40. And, a good outing is a good outing. Nothing to take away. But going to see a little bit more of that from David Festa. At least that's where I stand with it. Jose Barrios continues his solid campaign, striking out 8 over 7 scoreless innings against the Red Sox. And the Jays pitching staff threw a shutout as well. It seems like every time I look, Barrios is just doing great. I mean, his ERA overall is in the mid threes, and the strikeouts have been there. I mean, it's a really good year for Jose Barrios right now. And, I guess based on his past few years, he's not overall dominating in a Paul Skeens-esque way, but who can? Barrios having a really good year. Dylan Cease struck out 8 in 4 innings while giving up 3 earned runs in his start. Seems like a very Dylan Cease-esque start. Will Warren for the Yankees turned in a 7 strikeout performance through 5 shutout innings and walked 4. The Orioles offense, which 22 runs, helped Tomoyuki Shigano survive a 7 earned run outing. He gave up 7 runs and struck out 2 over 5 innings. Again, that offensive explosion helped him kind of cover that up a little bit. But of course, the pitching performance of the day goes to the insane game that Sonny Gray had for the Cardinals. Gray threw a complete game, 9 innings, surrendered only 1 hit, and struck out 11. He took a no-hitter into the 5th inning, and he said after the game he shook off 1 pitch all night, and that pitch was when Nolan Jones hit a double to break up the no-hitter and provide the only hit given up by Sonny Gray in that outing. He threw 89 pitches total. Just a phenomenal day for Sonny Gray, who, again, complete game, 7 strikeouts, surrendered only 1 hit. Great day from him. That's the news. That's the notable performances. We're going to take a quick time out right now. We come back. I got a few pitchers I want to pull out from upcoming today's games, and I will do that momentarily right now. A quick timeout. Appreciate you listening. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you with me here. We've talked news, we've talked pitching, we've talked hitting. Let's talk about the upcoming games today. Let's see what we got on the slate. Clark Schmidt for the Yankees is going to toe the rubber against the A's. He's gone 20 2/3 shutout innings over his last 3 starts with 15 strikeouts and 5 walks. So absolutely thinking he can keep that hot hand rolling against the A's offense. Just a great stretch that he is on right now. Hasn't given up a run in his last 3 starts. That is in 4 starts on the month. He's given up 3 total runs, and they all came in his first start of the month. Kumar Rocker is going to face a real test. He's up against Brian Wu and the Mariners. Rocker has combined for 10 1/3 innings and 2 earned runs with 10 strikeouts over his last 2 starts, but that was against the Pirates and the White Sox. So the Mariners offense is going to be a real litmus test of how far Rocker has come from his rocky start. That's right, I went there. He had a rocky start to the year and been good lately. We'll see what he does against a good offense like the Mariners. Shohei Ohtani is slated to start for the Dodgers, but how long is he going to go? He's up against the Royals. He's thrown 2 starts, only gotten 1 inning in each. I don't anticipate that changing, but I guess it's always notable when Shohei Ohtani's going to pitch. Andrew Abbott for the Reds is going to be going up against the Padres. He's just been so good this year. And I knew he'd been good. I was kind of shocked when I looked at the numbers. He has a 1.79 ERA with 72 strikeouts and 75 and a third innings. See if he can keep things rolling against the San Diego offense. There is a potential bloodbath in the making for today's games. Robbie Ray, who has been Robbie Ray again this year. Good to see from him. He's taking on the White Sox. So that is going to go one of two ways, and both seem like they're going to be good for Robbie Ray, but it's baseball. Anything can happen. And finally, the game of the day. I'm going to go with the Phillies versus the Braves. Should be a fun one. Jesus Luzardo is coming off a good game against the Mets. He has been pretty good lately. I know he had a shaky outing or two in a row a while back, but seems like he's back to form. He's going to take on the Braves offense, and Spencer Schwellenbach is on the other side of that start. Think that's going to be a fun one for both sides. Luzardo, Schwellenbach, Phillies, Braves. That's the game of the day. We'll check in tomorrow to see how that went. Make sure to check out pitcherlist.com. You can see the top 100 pitching that Nick Pollock posts. We have our top 100 hitters from Scott Chu. We have our top 100 relievers. There's a couple different variations of that if you have saves or saves holds, and that is from Rick Graham, on top of all the other fantastic written content that is coming out daily on pitcherlist.com. And if you like that content, you're going to love the Discord. Join PL Pro. You can talk to us anytime you want. We're all there. All the staff is there, and we love talking baseball. It's what we do. With that, I will see you all tomorrow. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.